Okay, so it seems like we have an update to do with Shoto and also Vox Akuma. Now, essentially, Shoto had to address something over on stream recently regarding a lot of Nijisanji fans that were asking about him and Vox. Now, if you don't know, him and Vox used to interact quite a bit, a couple of years ago, and there's been many clips. Literally, if you just search like Vox and Shoto, there are some like million view clips, like 2 million, 3 million view clips out there of them having interactions. A lot of them were very shippy. I don't know how kind of comfortable they were with that, but again, obviously, that's just what's up on YouTube, right? And obviously, yeah, this clip came out, which has been talked about quite a bit, but also there was this one short which was released a year ago, kind of talking about this situation and what people believe to be the situation that we're talking about right now. So I'll play this just to give you a bit of extra context, and then we'll go through the next clip.
I was harassed for collabing with my friends. Back in 2022, I used to regularly collab with some people who were part of a VTuber company, and these were some of the most fun collabs I've ever had, which made for great content and a lot of memories. The thing is, a portion of the fanbase from their communities are notorious for being gatekeeping. They would hate the fact me, an independent VTuber, was collabing often with the people they idolized. It wasn't healthy. It was a whole new level of parasocial I never experienced before until then. It got so bad, people would send death threats and harass both me and the VTubers they watched, to the point of pushing us from collabing with each other anymore. The harassment created a rift between our communities, and eventually, at some point, I got tired and decided I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I realized I wanted to prioritize the comfort of my own community, since it wasn't worth dealing with a bunch of immature weirdos that wanted to ruin a good thing.
So yeah, obviously that is the clip that came out about a year ago where he talked about his situation. Obviously, a lot of people bringing up Vox, saying I actually found out about Shoto through his collabs with Vox. I missed those collabs; they were a lot of fun. And obviously, it all checks out. You know, we all know that some of the Nijisanji fans out there, the Niji sisters, a lot of them call them, are very weird and can get very parasocial with a lot of their kind of VTubers, their idols, whatever you want to call them, right? And we've had many people call that out recently, but again, obviously this has been a situation that's been going on for a while, and many people have been asking them like, why are those two not interacting anymore? Why are they not kind of collabing anymore? And this is what he had to say over while he's playing on the Rust server. I'm pretty sure he's playing on Rust Kingdoms. There's a big event going on with a lot of streamers, and he had to address it on there.
You know what, it might be a good time to talk about this now. I'm noticing it in the chat more often these days, right? I feel like a lot of people already know about this, right? Because I keep seeing Vox's name get brought up often, right? And if it wasn't obvious already, I'm not friends with him anymore. Hence why, no interaction, no games, no collabs, none of that, right? Because I was like, oh, maybe people get the hint, after not collabing for that long, right? Like, genuinely, I just want to explain, since it seems to be a question asked every stream about it. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just come out and say it. I'm just for the sake of people not asking all the time in chat, we're no longer friends. You seen that question around a bit? Yep, I've seen it too. But just to rip the bandage off and explain, right? To have full clarity. I think it was obvious, since I didn't interact with him at all and such, but yeah, it's been about 2.5 years, guys, since I've interacted with the guy. I just do not fuck with him anymore. That's all. Generally do not fuck with him anymore, and that's all I'm gonna say. All right, I appreciate y'all though. Thank you for being respectful, those that were respectful about it. It means a lot. Exactly, people come and go. Yeah.
So yeah, that is the entire clip that obviously came out, and obviously it's fair enough. If Shoto, if a lot of the stuff that he's saying in the short was true, then it's understandable that he would obviously part ways, as he was getting harassed a lot by a lot of these people. But also, he does say that he doesn't, I'm just going to say mess with him anymore. I don't really want to add as many swears in here so YouTube doesn't, take down my video or something. Obviously, yeah, he doesn't, mess with him anymore, and he doesn't, and obviously that doesn't really sound like a one of these situations where he was forced out of being friends. It sounds like he doesn't like him anymore, which obviously maybe that could just be a front for obviously the Niji fans, who will probably be like, there's maybe a hope that he might, collab with him. If he just says like, oh, I just don't like him, maybe that could obviously stop any kind of speculation of anything further happening. Maybe that could be the case. Obviously, a lot of people have been talking about this as well, saying it's not surprising they aren't friends anymore, but Voxo stands can't take a hint. I've seen these stands harass Shoto and even Vox in chat saying, where's X? And it's gotten so annoying. And yeah, obviously, as Shoto says, it's been like 2.5 years and they're still typing his name in the chat, That would be extremely weird. Imagine if you were streaming and a friend from 2.5 years ago keeps getting brought up in your chat despite you not talking about them or interacting with them. Again, it's so weird, and obviously I don't know why they were doing that in the first place. Obviously, say I doubt Shoto cut ties with him when the black stream happened, because he's still in good terms with Elira. Even though they haven't interacted in a while, Shoto still said goodbye to Ike when he graduated, so I'm guessing it was something behind the scenes. We won't know what happened, but whatever. I said we definitely shouldn't be surprised that Voxos fans who are left wouldn't be able to take the hint, considering the fact that they are the fans who are still somehow fans of Vox in 2025. They say Shoto didn't necessarily distance himself from Vox only because of the fandom. Shoto said that he generally does not mess with Vox anymore. Not to mention, Shoto also said that he had a problem with Vox's fans before, so if that was the primary reason they don't interact anymore, then he could just restate that, and Shoto collabs with other Niji livers. Now, that could be true, but as I said before, it could just be a kind of cover-up to avoid anybody from, further speculating, and I could totally understand why he would do that. But also, it could genuinely be the case that he doesn't like him anymore, and he found something out behind the scenes. Again, it could literally be either, we never know, but obviously, as what Shoto says, he says he doesn't mess with him anymore, so again, obviously, that must be the case. He said, that said, and despite my personal dislike of Vox, there's no way of knowing specifically caused Shoto to cut ties with Vox. That veers too far into the baseless speculation, which is, 100%, and obviously, there's probably going to be many people out there speculating exactly why they fell out, if they didn't even fall out in the first place, right? And obviously you can see even in the replies here, they've already started speculating, saying the fallout started when everything went quite bad at Niji, right? Obviously I'm speculating here, but I will not be surprised if the black screen stream was what made him completely cut ties with Vox, backstabbing a friend, which obviously, that could be true. Obviously, as well as not surprising, said, man, you'd think people would take the hint after 2+ years, and that's 100% true. I mean, again, it's been 2.5 years, as he says. It's been a while. I think to hold on to this old friendship is obviously just very weird, and I don't know why, obviously, they're holding on so badly to this, because, again, I know, obviously, they had a really close friendship, but at the end of the day, if it's been 2.5 years and, they haven't brought them up, I think, obviously you've got to kind of get the hint there that they aren't interacting anymore. They said, damn, sucks for it to be that clear cut. Not even, we still talk behind the scenes or anything. Not even we parted ways. Not even we're not friends anymore. Is a pretty blunt way to put it. I don't screw with anymore is also very strong. Which, again, makes me think more that it is a kind of just a, obviously to tell the Niji fans that, hey, like, there is no way in hell that we're going to be collaborating again. But again, obviously, maybe he generally doesn't mess with it anymore. Again, we don't really know. It said it's a shame the fans would take the hint, and Shoto had just come out and said it so harshly. Good on him for just coming out and saying it. Yeah, it's definitely 100%, he was well within his right to tell his chat, like, hey, it's been 2.5 years. Can we stop doing this? And I hope that a lot of the chatters, or the regular chatters, were there, because obviously, you can understand that, not every chat is going to be around for every stream. So it's probably going to be still a couple of stragglers that are mentioning Vox in his chat, and also vice versa. Again, also you got to think about the fact that a lot of Shoto fans might be talking in Vox's chat as well. So again, it just depends really, and it's kind of annoying, obviously, for Shoto. They said, I really hope the Shoto doesn't get heat for this. A large part of the reason for not interacting with Vox appears to be because he didn't want to deal with the toxic fans. Toxic fans giving him one last hooray of toxicity would absolutely suck, especially since he tried to peacefully drop hints by being largely silent on it for 2+ years. I said, Niji fans taking a hint, they can't even face reality whenever it's told straight to their face. If he gets heat, it ain't from the fans, it's from the delusional Niji fans. Which, is true. And obviously, I mean, it's just a very interesting situation. And obviously, Shoto has made it clear that he will not be collaborating with Vox anymore. If that wasn't made obvious already by the 2+ years that they have not been collaborating with each other. And I think a lot of people need to accept that. And if you can't accept that, then obviously I think you might need to get a little bit of help, because let's be real, if you're really that hung up over this after 2+ years, bro, just get a grip, right? And obviously, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of kind of, you know, past relationships and stuff like that in terms of, you know, how much they collabed and stuff in the past, which I do understand that people were very kind of invested in those two kind of hanging out on stream and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, it's over now. It's been over for 2 years. Let's let it go, and let's just enjoy, obviously, the content that Shoto is making right now. And obviously, yeah, I mean, that is essentially it. I mean, I don't really know if he's going to face any hate for this. I hope that he doesn't, obviously, but I am glad that, you know, he's spoken out about it, because, again, he could have just stayed silent, and they could have continued to kind of type his name in chat, and hopefully that will come to a close now. Now that he's actually fully mentioned it. But yeah, that's what I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.